Perfect. So, good morning, everybody. I'm really happy to welcome you today for this new webinar, the first of this new year. So we are really lucky today. So we are with Emily from Scottsdale, Jalyssa from Tucson, and Cherri from Flagstaff. They are with us this afternoon for us, the evening for them, as well. They are live from Arizona. Uh, Great. So as usual, I'm gonna ask you all to put you on a mute mode, okay? And also to to turn off your camera. So to be sure that we've got enough power with the Wi-Fi. Uh, Also, if you've got any question, please don't hesitate to use the chat mode, okay, as usual. Don't worry, we will try to answer to all the question live and during the presentation. We also will have a moment for the Q&A, for the question and answer. And don't worry, if we see that we've got too many questions, I will send it to the correct person after the webinar, and they will answer to you directly. Okay. So, perfect, let's start. So this is our 5th webinar today, special focus on Arizona. This webinar is also a webinar for our travel agent specialist program. We will have 2 parts. The first part will be a presentation over Utah, and then we will also have two tour operators want to share with you a few words just before the end. Okay. You will also, as usual, after the webinar, you will receive the link for the quiz. Okay. This time it will be really important, as well as it will be for 2 different things. The first thing regarding the quiz will be for our travel agent specialist program. And then we will have one win. The winner will have the higher score. Will have the chance to win a prize prepared by Flagstaff, Scottsdale, and Tucson, and they will send it to you when I will be able to send the result. So it's really nice. I'm really happy about that because you will be able to win some prizes too. So this is really nice. So as I told you, we are really happy because we've got our 3 sunshine this afternoon. We first have Emily from Scottsdale. We will have also Jalyssa from Tucson, which is live from the Wild Stallion Ranch. And we've got Cherri from Flagstaff, will make a great presentation. So after leaving you with those triggers, just let me introduce Arizona with quite a nice video. So, and after the video, we will directly start with Jalyssa. All right. So I suppose that everybody can hear me actually. Can you just, yes, okay, you can hear me, it's perfect. So let's go. Great. So let's start with Tucson and Jalyssa. Jalyssa, you're there?
Yes. Can you hear
Perfect.
me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. So it's your
Perfect.
time.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. I am live from White Stallion Ranch. If you can kind of see, I turned on my video real quick and you can hear the birds chirping probably. White Stallion Ranch is owned by the True family for over 55 years. They own four. Might be the first time you're hearing this. They now own four ranches here in Tucson in southern Arizona. So they have White Stallion, Rancho de la Osa, which is on the border of Arizona and Mexico, Tombstone Monument Ranch, which is in Tombstone, Arizona, and the newest ranch they just bought is called Kenyon Guest Ranch, and that's in Tubac, which is just south of Tucson, about 30 minutes. So we're excited for them to bring on that property. And here you can experience horseback riding, cowboy cookouts, rock climbing, fat tire biking, hiking, and all those great outdoor activities. So if a guest ranch is on your radar or your client's radar, definitely check out White Stallion Ranch. So I'm going to turn off my camera just so you can see the slideshow. So Tucson is located, like I said, southern Arizona. We are about 181 kilometers from Phoenix and 106 kilometers from the Mexico border, and we are home to the Saguaro National Park. And in Tucson, when it comes to the winter season, we average about a high of 21 degrees Celsius and a low of 5 degrees Celsius, which is a great time for some outdoor activities, including hiking, like I said, horseback riding through the Sonoran Desert, cycling. Once in a blue moon, we may get some snow, which we did this year. So you can see that beautiful middle picture of all the saguaro cactus with some snow on it. And then if you go up in our mountain areas, the leaves do change a little up at Mount Lemmon, which is about 9,000 feet above sea level. And cycling is a huge thing here in the winter, that we get a lot of guests come and train in the winter season because of our great weather. And one of the best places to train is what we call the Loop. It's 210 kilometers of paved path around Tucson. It's non-motorized, and it connects you to restaurants, shops, and accommodations all around Tucson. And in Tucson during the winter, we have some great events. One of our biggest events is going to be the Tucson Gem Show. It starts usually at the end of January and goes into the first couple weeks of February. And it is a citywide event with over 40 plus exhibits. These exhibits filled with dozens and in some cases hundreds of vendors selling their ancient and modern antiques and some great collectibles. And it's great for everyone, anybody's budget. And then also in January, you want to go back?
Oh.
Sorry. Every January at Historic Hotel Congress in downtown Tucson, you can travel back in time to 1930 for Dillinger Days. Hotel Congress puts on a weekend of events such as reenactments depicting the capture of America's most wanted gangster, John Dillinger, and his gang. Also, they do vintage car shows, historical walking tours, historical artifact exhibits, and other great events. And then every February in Tucson, us Tucsonans dust off our boots and our cowboy hats, and we enjoy the Tucson Rodeo. It's a 4-day event, including bull riding, steer wrestling, and cowgirls taking the reins of barrel racing. And then my favorite part of the 4-day event is the rodeo parade. It started back in 1925 and is now known to be the largest non-motorized parade in the country. And then after the winter months, we get to spring. And as you can see, our temperature goes up just a little, 27 degrees average Celsius and 12 degrees low. But spring is still a great time to enjoy the outdoors and visit some of our top attractions. The airplane that you see on the left is Pima Air and Space Museum. It features 400 plus historic aircrafts sitting on 80 acres and has 6 indoor exhibit hangars, 3 of which are dedicated to World War II. And then in the middle, we are home to two great locations for stargazing. This photo right here is of Kitt Peak Observatory. It supports the most diverse collection of astronomical observatories on Earth for nighttime optical and infrared astronomy and daytime study of the sun. It's located 90 kilometers south of Tucson on the Tohono O'odham Reservation. And then the domes that you see on the right is Biosphere 2. It's an American Earth System science research facility located north of Tucson. It was originally constructed in 1987 and meant to demonstrate the viability of closed ecological systems to support and maintain human life in outer space as a substitute for Earth's biosphere. And there are 7 biome areas in this facility. One includes a rainforest, a desert, and an ocean. So anyone open to the science, that's a great place to check out, a must-see. And then some spring events that we host here in Tucson is the Tucson Festival of Books every March. And this is held on the University of Arizona campus during spring break, when the students are gone. And weekend activities include book panels, special events where literacy lovers can come together and meet their favorite authors and discover new book companies and resources. And best of all, this event is free. And another great free event every April is the Tucson Folk Festival. It's a 2-day event celebrating Americana/folk music, traditions, and all the wonderful variations like bluegrass, blues, country, jazz, and many more. It's held in downtown Tucson on 6 different stages and is very family friendly. And then I can't really say my favorite, but if I had to choose, this is one of my favorite festivals. This is the Agave Heritage Festival. It started out as the Cinco de Mayo celebration with tequila tastings and now has grown to a citywide 2-week-long destination event that spotlights the Southwest region through the lens of the agave plant. It celebrates the unique importance of the agave plant and the borderlands culture with seminars, trade shows, and world-class culinary events. And then we get to our summer months. And although our temperatures start to rise a little, that doesn't mean we go hide inside. This is when we, like us Tucsonans, and I'm sure the Phoenicians up north and everyone else, we like to go hit the resorts and enjoy a drink by the pool. Tucson has over 160 hotel resorts and ranches. And Tucson was the first city in the United States designated City of Gastronomy by UNESCO. We got this designation because our agriculture history dates back 3,000 years with our Native Americans. And so we definitely take this time to enjoy some great food and get an understanding of why we got this designation. And then as well as the dude ranches, we have 2 destination spas. One is Canyon Ranch and one is Miraval. So whatever it is that you need to get and relax and unwind, these destination spas are great for cooking classes, water aerobics, and of course spa treatments. And some summer events that we host are the Southern Arizona, here in Southern Arizona is the Harvest Fest Sonoyta Vineyards. It's a great way to kick off the harvest season at Harvest Fest. And this is a grand festival with hundreds of guests participating in activities, including great stomping competitions, horse-drawn vineyard tours, along with tastings and pourings of some signature wines of Southern Arizona. And then in August, we host what at the Historic Hotel Congress is HOCO Fest. Over 16 years, HOCO Fest has led the charge in reframing what the modern music festival can achieve. It was the first completely solar-powered festival on the West Coast in 2007, and now is one of the U.S. most forward-facing festivals, setting the standard for diverse musical programming. So definitely another must-see if you're here in the summer months. And then as our temperatures start to drop again in the fall, It's one of my favorite time of the year with monsoon. The picture on the right of the beautiful lightning strikes. We get these great monsoon rain shows, and they light up the sky, and they're just beautiful. And I just want to make sure you guys can still hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. And of course, we are still outside, love to play in our backyard. So Tucson has over 40 public, private golf courses with landscapes like no other. They're just beautiful in the desert. And while you're here, one of our top attractions that you must see is the Arizona Sonoran Desert Museum. It's a zoo, botanical garden, aquarium, art exhibits, cave structures, all in one. And it's definitely a must-see. And in the fall, we have some great events as well. We have a smaller showcase of the Gem and Mineral Show that usually falls in September, with a little over 20 exhibits, so not as big as our January, February one, but still a great time to come if you are looking to attend that the Gem Show. And then October, we have Tucson Meet Yourself, and we actually are trying to rebrand it to called Tucson Eat Yourself, because this is where you can discover food vendors from all over the world who reside here in Tucson. And they have these little pop-ups, food trucks, or just exhibits in the downtown area. And you can walk around and just eat from all over the world, such as like Jamaica and Australia, and I'm sure we even have a Belgian one. So that's definitely one of my favorites. And then in November, we have All Souls Procession. It's perhaps one of the most important, inclusive, and authentic public ceremonies in North America. Today, we find ourselves organizing well over 150,000 participants on the streets of downtown Tucson for a 2-mile-long human-powered procession that ends in the ceremonial burning of a large urn filled with the hopes and offerings and wishes of the public for those who have passed. So Tucson really comes together, and we get a lot of people from out of state joining us on that event. And then last, just a couple things that I definitely don't want to miss year-round that no matter what time of year you're here in Tucson, you can enjoy is the Turquoise Trail Walking Tour. It's a historic walking tour hosted by the Presidio, given in downtown Tucson. You can learn about the historic buildings and events that made Tucson what it is now. And then Mission San Javier del Bac, also known as the White Dove of the Desert, is one of the finest examples of Spanish colonial architecture in the country. It's founded by Father Kino in 1692 and was completed in 1787. San Javier is the oldest intact European structure in Arizona. The church's interior is filled with marvelous original statuary and mural paintings. And then one thing I love to make sure to announce is the Sabino Canyon Crawler. It is brand new and taken over by the city. They are new emission-free open-air shuttles, and so if you have any guests that don't want to do a hike into the desert, this is a great way to still experience the desert, as these trams give you headphones and they explain all the flora and fauna of the Sabino Canyon and how it was formed. It's about an hour round trip, so it's a great experience, and chances are you will see some wildlife. So that is on Tucson. I appreciate you guys listening to me, and I'll pass it over to my friend up north in Scottsdale, Emily.
Great. Thank you very much, Jalyssa. So let's continue our trip with Emily.
Yes.
Great.
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. So kind of like Jalyssa, we are kind of rubbing in our sunshine here in Arizona. So while you can't see my face because the sun has shifted, you can see the beautiful view behind me. I'm currently at the Hyatt Regency Scottsdale, which is one of our premier resorts for basically any type of traveler, which I'll talk about. But I'm going to turn off my video as well just to make sure that we can keep the PowerPoint going. So welcome to Scottsdale. You can hit the next slide, please. So Scottsdale is located in the center part of Arizona. The closest international airport to us is Phoenix Sky Harbor. While we don't have direct flights into Belgium, traditionally we do have flights into London Heathrow and seasonally into Frankfurt, Germany, as well as other connections throughout the US. However, if your customers are deciding to do a larger Southwest tour, we are in a really prime location to kind of get here by car. So we're about 2.5 hours north of Jalyssa in Tucson, and then about 2.5 hours south of Cherri up in Flagstaff. And then I just added some other distances. So to the south rim of the Grand Canyon, it's about 4.5 hours by car. To Las Vegas, it's about 5.5 hours by car. Los Angeles or San Diego will be about 6 hours by car. And if you're on the Los Angeles route, you can go to Palm Springs in about 3 hours. So really a great alternative gateway into the Southwest if you wanted to fly into our area and use us to hub and spoke. Next. Scottsdale as a city, we're very unique in the sense that we're very long and narrow. So from the southmost border to the northmost border, we're about 50 kilometers. And then from east to west, we're about 15. And the reason I like to point this out is because if you were to fly into Phoenix Sky Harbor and drive to where I am at Hyatt Regency, you're looking at a 15 to 20-minute car ride. But if you're driving up north to say the Four Seasons or Savannah or the Boulders, you might actually be looking at 30 to 45 minutes purely based on distance. So when you're booking all of your clients, you really want to know kind of where they're staying and what they're looking to do because of that, but it's super easy to get around. Next, please. Throughout Scottsdale, we have over 70 hotels and resorts, anything from a 10-room boutique hotel up to full-service luxury hotels with 700 rooms. Most are going to be in that 100 to 300 suite spot. Throughout the pandemic, we've actually had some new hotels that opened, including the Canopy by Hilton. We also had a Darrow open, which is an autograph collection by Marriott. And then we have more projects in the work. So we're excited that while things were slowing down around the world, we were still seeing demand for new hotel product. Next. Throughout the year, we have over 330 days of sunshine. I always like to just point this out because we are a year-round destination. I am going to tell you the highlights of each, but we are available year-round no matter when you want to come. Next. Because we have amazing spa and hotel product, or because we have great hotel product, we also have great spa product. So whether you're looking for a massage, which I'm planning to do actually at this hotel this weekend, or whether you're looking for wellness classes such as yoga on the lawn or meditation, we've got really great options for your clients if that's something they wanted to do. Next, please. Throughout the area, we also have over 800 restaurants. I always like to point this out because you're never going to go hungry and there's a lot of different variety. You can get really, really great Mexican food and barbecue, but you can also get really unique American cuisine. This particular salad is famous. And I know you're thinking like, what kind of salad would be famous? But this is one of those signatures that the textures and the food and the flavors are just amazing. This is a chopped salad at the Citizen Public House in Old Town. Next, please. So winter in Scottsdale. As you can see, I am out on the patio. Now that the sun is rising, I am wearing a sweater that I'm probably going to have to take off because it is warm. Winter is beautiful here in the valley. You can see the average high and low temperatures. Usually it's a little chillier in the morning or in the evening, but then during the day you can soak up the sun. We always make jokes that in Scottsdale you actually get tan in the winter and you lose it in the summer because the weather is just so favorable. Next. One of the great things that you can do during the winter is go golfing because again, that weather is just absolutely perfect. You can spend 9 holes, 18 holes out. We have 51 golf courses in Scottsdale, and then we have over 200 in the greater Phoenix area. We're known for desert golf, which is more of a target style approach, very challenging. It takes about 4.5 hours for even experienced golfers to get through 18 holes with a golf cart. Next. When you're in the winter season, traditionally, this is when we kind of kick off our annual events. So historically, we'll have a car auction called Barrett Jackson in January, followed by the Waste Management Phoenix Open, which is a PGA golf tournament at TPC Scottsdale. Then we go into the Parada del Sol Rodeo, which you can see a photo of here in Old Town, as well as an Arabian horse show. Really, when these events start taking off is also when you're going to see the highest level of visitation into the destination. This year, because of COVID and being safe, a lot of these events have been scaled down, are moved and pushed into the late spring. But traditionally, you are in this winter period starting to see us begin these signature events. We also get a farmer's market in our Old Town, which is also really unique if you're here in that time period. Next. So spring. Spring is definitely the ideal time to visit in terms of weather. This is when most of our domestic client base comes into Scottsdale. As you can see, the weather is just absolutely beautiful. You know, whether it's morning, evening, during the day, whatever you're looking at. The desert actually blooms around this time. So we are part of the Sonoran Desert, which is the most lush desert in the world. That's where those saguaro cactus grows. Tucson's also part of this. But really, it is just absolutely stunning to get out in the desert when it's lush and there's wildflowers, and it really is a magical time to visit. Next. It's during this time period that I would definitely recommend taking advantage of indoor-outdoor experiences, such as going to Frank Lloyd Wright's Taliesin West. So Frank Lloyd Wright is the famous American architect behind the Guggenheim, as well as other significant landmarks across the country. He used to live in Scottsdale in the winter. He was a traditional snowbird, as we like to call him. He came in the winter, he left in the summer, took advantage of the beautiful weather, built an amazing complex that used all the resources of the desert. And what I love most about this particular attraction is it's all volunteer-led for the tours. So every time you go, you get to hear the tour guide's unique perspectives about Frank Lloyd Wright. You get the same facts about Taliesin West, but they each focus on different aspects of his life, which I really enjoy. You do need to book a tour for this. Just as a side note, you can go. Nope, you can go forward. And then also, because the weather is so perfect, you know, really to take advantage of the dining and shopping that we have throughout the destination. Majority of our hotel rooms, our restaurants, our shops, everything is built with this indoor-outdoor. When you book an apartment or buy an apartment in the area, they're actually giving you square footage, including patios, because if you aren't taking advantage of these beautiful outdoors, you're kind of missing out. But we also have some indoor shops available, but a lot of our shops kind of are indoor, outdoor in the Old Town area where you can find like our boutiques. Continue. And then we have the summer. So obviously, as Jalyssa said, it can get warm in the Sonoran Desert in the summer. We get a little bit warmer than Tucson. We kind of split our summer into kind of two seasons, because in the early summer, it's going to be dry. And then in the latter part, it's going to be what we call a wet summer. We are notorious for our monsoons, which basically you're outside, everything's sunny, and then all of a sudden it pours down rain for like an hour to 2 hours, and then it clears up. So it's super critical for our desert to get these experiences. But it is important to note, if you have clients coming, that might be something that they can have unexpectedly. But there's tons of places to get indoors. Kind of like Jalyssa said, people are going to take advantage of the pools. They're going to take advantage of the beautiful weather when they can take it. We kind of skew our days. So you kind of go out a little earlier, and then you go out after the sun sets. And then during the day, you either lay by the pool or take advantage of indoor attractions. So next. So we really have great museums throughout Scottsdale. This particular one is Western Spirit, which is Scottsdale's Museum of the West, which if you're interested in the cowboy culture and the Native American culture of the US, as well as, you know, casinos and Bonnie and Clyde and all those fun stories you learn about, this is a great museum for that. It's a Smithsonian affiliate, and it's located in Old Town Scottsdale. We also have Wonder Spaces in Scottsdale Museum of Contemporary Art, which are going to be art-based. We have the Musical Instrument Museum, which is also great because it's the largest global collection of instruments. And you get headphones, and it's very immersive. And as you see instruments, you kind of go and you hear the instruments playing. So language, if that happens to be a barrier, is kind of removed because music's universal. But really a great time when it's those summer months to take advantage of going indoors and seeing these museums when it might be a little warmer outside. Next, please. That said, you know, as a destination, we do know that it can get hot. We actually have a campaign called It's That Hot. And what that means is that when your clients are here, they can take advantage of really favorable rates. They can stay at a hotel like the Hyatt Regency or the Four Seasons, and they might get 1/3 the price that they would get if they came in the springtime. So really recommend taking advantage of that. And then we have unique experiences such as flashlight tours at the Desert Botanical Gardens, because desert plants know it's hot during the day, and so they bloom at night. And so when you're there, you actually get to have that exclusive experience that's only available in the summer. So really a great time to come. Next. And then, you know, to kind of come full circle in the year, we also have fall in Scottsdale. So if you look at the temperature, it might be a little warmer than spring, but I always like to say this is kind of a secret season to come to Scottsdale. It's a great time to still, you know, take advantage of the outdoors, take advantage of all the wonderful things we have. Next, please. Such as, you know, this is really the season I highly recommend going out into the outdoors. We have the McDowell Sonoran Preserve in Scottsdale, which is the largest urban preserve in the United States. What that means is there's hundreds and hundreds of free access kilometers of trails where your clients can hike or mountain bike or ride a horse. There's no motorized vehicles, but they have anything from really easy ADA accessible trails up to challenging full day hikes. Outside of the preserve, in the other surrounding desert, we also have hot air balloon rides, which is perfect if people are jet lagged because it's usually in the morning, and you get breakfast and get a serene start to your day. Or we have Hummer tours and ATV tours and kayaking, horseback riding, tons and tons of options year round. But again, this is just a recommended season to take advantage of our beautiful weather and outdoor space we have. Next. And then I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Old Town. This is our city center. As you can see from this photo, everything's really low to the ground. So unlike the city, which kind of stretches out, Old Town is very compact and walkable. So from the south to the north end, it's about 20 minutes walk at a leisurely pace. There's about 9 different districts throughout Old Town that you can explore. So there's boutiques where you can get Native American jewelry or postcards or souvenirs. There's an entertainment district where you can maybe go to a nightclub or bars, which obviously right now is a little different. We have 6 Arizona wine tasting rooms, restaurants, some of those museums, public art, cafes, breweries, tons of little things in this area. So I actually live here, I work here. It's one of my favorite spots, but really a unique destination because of its charm. Next, please. And then, as I mentioned, you know, we do have nightlife options under normal circumstances. I always like to point out that, you know, we do take advantage of our Western roots here in Scottsdale, and we kind of make them a little bit more contemporary and chic. But if you want that cowboy experience, the Rusty Spur Saloon, which is in Old Town, is a personal favorite. They have live music daily. It's really small. It was Scottsdale's original bank, so obviously a really old establishment, but it's really a great place to be. Next. So I know I kind of went through a lot, so if you have questions, you can definitely let me know. My contact information's there, but truthfully, lots of things to see and do in Scottsdale year-round. So thank you.
Great, thank you, Emily, for this presentation. Nice, so let's go to our last stop, Flagstaff. Cherri, can you hear us?
Yes, I can, thank you.
Great, so it's your time.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. For those of you who haven't been to northern Arizona, you can see it's a little bit different than the southern part of Arizona. So Flagstaff is about 2 to 2.5 hour drive straight up the freeway from the Phoenix Scottsdale area. And we are Arizona's 4-season destinations. We have to educate people, even Americans, constantly to let them know that Arizona is not just a desert destination. We are actually in the mountains. So as you travel north from the Phoenix Scottsdale area, and you're going to be climbing to over 2,100 meters. So Flagstaff at 7,000 feet elevation, 2,100, about 34 meters, is the highest town in Arizona. So why should you come to Flagstaff? Well, because we are the largest town, you can kind of see where we sit. We are 90 minutes approximately from the Grand Canyon. We tell people to stay in Flagstaff because you don't have to pack and unpack. We are close to all of these things, and you see the national monuments in red. We are on historic Route 66. We are a town of about 75,000 residents and another 25,000 university students. The second largest town in northern Arizona is actually Sedona, which is 10,000 people. So that gives you a little bit of relevance to the size of Flagstaff. Next, please. So Flagstaff became known initially decades ago because of the Grand Canyon, because of our proximity, of course. However, as we go through this presentation, you'll see there's a lot to do in Flagstaff, and it's one of the reasons that people choose to stay in Flagstaff and do the day trips. However, I will tell you that if you or your clients have not stayed at the Grand Canyon, I will tell you that sunrise and sunset there is beautiful, and you really should spend a night there too. But then come back to Flagstaff, and we'll head to the next slide. We consistently hear that one of the reasons that people love Flagstaff the most is our historic downtown. We were recently named one of the 10 most charming historic downtowns in the United States. You can see some of the top right pictures actually is both the Amtrak station. So we do have Amtrak that comes through Flagstaff and stops here from Los Angeles to Chicago. It is also our visitor center. So of course we want people to stop there first when they get to Flagstaff, find out everything there is to do. You'll see in the bottom right some of our artwork. We are also a town of art. We have an self-touring art walk. You will not find really any graffiti in Flagstaff. We have chosen to spend money for beautification on these beautiful murals you'll find on the sides of buildings. You'll find them on street corners. It's really a very special, walkable, historic downtown. Next, please. Besides the Grand Canyon, we are so close to these three monuments in particular. Walnut Canyon, which is the bottom left photo, is actually just 15 minutes from downtown Flagstaff. The top left is Sunset Crater, and the bottom right is Wupatki. All three of these national monuments are 35 minutes or less from downtown Flagstaff. So you can actually see all three of these in one day if you would like to. They are all completely different, and then just a very, very special sort of addition to the Grand Canyon and some of the other national monuments. Next, please. I mentioned that we are on Route 66, so there's about 22 kilometers of Route 66 that runs right through Flagstaff. For some people, that's sort of for Americans, it's nostalgia. It's very Americana. When Route 66 was still, a two-lane road that went from, again, Chicago to Los Angeles before the freeways were built in the early 1900s. But nostalgia is alive and well in northern Arizona. So if that's something that you're interested in, you will definitely find some of the Route 66 diners and the history, and just kind of a nice road trip if that's something that your clients are into. Next, please. We are also one of the craft beer cities in Arizona. We have some amazing local breweries. We have beer festivals. We have, you can do beer tasting. We have a beer passport, so you can literally walk to all of these these breweries, do some tastings, enjoy maybe a nice dinner, especially in the summer out in the patio. So more than anything else, we are known for beer, and we also are known for mead. We have a meadery here in Flagstaff. So lots of things to do in the evening and during the day when it's you know, it's maybe a little bit warmer out, sit out in the patio, as I mentioned. So next slide. 2 years ago, Phoenix Magazine called Flagstaff the Critics' Choice for Arizona's foodie town. You know, 30 years ago, you really did only have maybe Route 66 diners and some small venues for eating. Now you have over 200 restaurants. So you have everything from diners and small, literally 10 people restaurants to Josephine's, which is in the top left, and just some amazing fine dine restaurants. So you can find a little bit of everything. We are a huge family town. We have over 5 million visitors a year, so just about 1 million less than what the Grand Canyon has. So we are a huge tourist town. We welcome the tourism industry, and we keep growing accordingly. Next, please. So I mentioned we are a 4-season destination. So right now we are in winter, and the photo on the right is kind of what we look like now. We just had about, I guess it was about 2.5 feet of snow 2 weeks ago. However, within about 10 days, it kind of looks like this. The snow sort of stays on the peaks. The town is really more green. The roadways are clear, but yet you can still, you know, 30 minutes away, you can go up to the mountains and do some skiing. Next, please. Many people also don't realize that we are a ski resort town. Our ski resort, which is Arizona Snowball, opens usually the last week in November and runs through. Actually, 2 years ago, it went to May 15th, but usually through about April. And this is also, though, similar to everything that I'm going to tell you, with the exception of these snow activities, everything that I'm showing you is really something that you could do any of the seasons. So here at the top right, again, you can see skiing, which is in full force right now. The bottom left photo is also so from usually the end of May through October, the scenic chairlift is available. It's a great attraction for visitors. You can see this the photo on the bottom right. That is what fall looks like, and this chairlift runs through the fall season, so you can see the beautiful yellow and red aspens. At the top of the chairlift, believe it or not, you can actually see the south rim of the Grand Canyon, the beautiful red hues. So it's really a stunning, it's just a stunning ride, and some beautiful views of 365 degrees across the mountains. So I absolutely recommend this for folks coming here, as I said, May through October. Next, please. We are not just downhill, we're also Nordic skiing. So we have cross country. Just a couple miles north of Arizona Snowball is our Nordic village. Here you can go cross country skiing. They also have snow bikes, so you can go snow biking, snowshoeing. You can see in the top right, they have yurts and cabins that you can rent year round. In the summer, they have family activities. They have some festivals. So this is another attraction that really is open pretty much year round for people to do either, again, hiking and biking and things like that in the summer, or cross country skiing and snow activities in the winter. Next, please. In addition to the Nordic Center and the ski resort, we also have a snow park. We opened this about 3 years ago. So you can see on the left side, we actually have a snow park for just tubing. So great, great family activity. The top right, instead of sort of the big ball that they drop in Times Square in New York City, we drop a pine cone on New Year's Eve. And you can see by the crowds, in normal years, we have thousands of people that come to Flagstaff for New Year's Eve and to see the pine cone drop and enjoy the festivities. In the bottom right is a photo of what we call North Pole Experience. They've been around for about 12 or 13 years. It is really an experience, not just for families, but it's a lot of fun for families because you'll see the entire family dressed up in their pajamas. The children are bringing their teddy bears. It's about a 90-minute tour that you can go through Santa's workshop. You can see Elf University. You can meet Santa and just all kinds of fun things. So it's a wonderful attraction that sells out every year in Flagstaff. And we're thrilled that they've been doing it for as long as they've been doing it. Next, please. So in a couple months, we'll be in spring, and this is kind of what our spring looks like. Lots of daisies, sunflowers, beautiful skies, and very similar to Scottsdale and Tucson. We have beautiful blue skies about 300 days of the year when it's not snowing in the winter or some of the rain falls in the summer. We are still considered high desert, so we are a dry climate, but we are in the mountains, not in the Sonoran Desert. You've left the Sonoran Desert somewhere between Scottsdale and Flagstaff, and now you've gotten into the Ponderosa Pines. Next, please. And some of the things, and again, just to remind you, these are open also year-round. But some of our biggest attractions, the top left is the Museum of Northern Arizona. It is an award-winning museum for primarily information on what is called the Colorado Plateau. Those are the 4 states that join together: Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. You'll find mostly information on the tribes, the Native American tribes in Arizona. Flagstaff does border the Navajo Reservation. So if you leave downtown Flagstaff, within 30 minutes, you'll actually be on the reservation. So we have a great tribal culture here as well in Flagstaff. The top right is our Pioneer Museum to learn a little bit about the history of Flagstaff from the 1800s. And the bottom right is Reardon Mansion, which are 2 Irish brothers who moved to Flagstaff, were part of the lumber industry and some of the founding fathers of Flagstaff. You can now tour their mansion, something also in the winter during the Christmas season. It's just beautifully decorated, and they have a special Christmas and holiday tour. Next, please. Also, you can't come to the Pines without doing something a little extreme, right? So Flagstaff Extreme, which is 10 minutes from downtown, is our adventure park and zip lining, different courses for different levels, great for kids too. I think they've been in Flagstaff about 15 years. One of our biggest attractions. Next, please. And you can't come to Flagstaff without going to Lowell Observatory. In 2001, Flagstaff was named the world's first international dark sky city. Mr. Lowell, actually Percival Lowell, who founded the observatory about 127 years ago, came from the East Coast of the United States. He found that because the air was so clear, it was so dry, it was a perfect spot to build an observatory. This is the observatory that has also discovered the planet Pluto. They are both a tourism destination and one of the biggest research observatories in the United States. They also, in the 1960s, helped train all the astronauts from NASA who walked on the moon. So every astronaut that walked on the moon trained in Flagstaff, both in Flagstaff, at the Grand Canyon, at Sunset Crater, the entire area, because our soil and our geology is very similar to, believe it or not, the moons. And the picture on the right is Buffalo Park, another great place to just see some stargazing and just enjoy the beautiful nights here. Next, please. From May through October, I suggest visiting the Arboretum. You can see it's at the base of what we call the San Francisco Peaks. Mount Humphreys is the tallest peak there. It's also the tallest peak in Arizona at nearly a little bit over 3,800 meters. So beautiful, beautiful peaks. They started this year, the Arboretum will actually be doing Segway tours. So you can walk through, of course, the Arboretum. You can take a guided tour, a self-tour, or you soon will be able to take a Segway guided tour. So something a little bit different. They also have festivals at the Arboretum. Flagstaff is actually known as the Festival Town of Arizona. We have over 30 festivals from April through October, everything from arts festivals, music festivals, beer festivals, you name it, we have it. So it's just a great time to be here. Next, please. And as far as lodging, we are more of a moderate lodging destination. However, we do have some high-end product. On the top, you'll see Little America. If you are familiar with Little America, they have been here for about 45 years in Flagstaff. They just went through a $50 million renovation a year and a half ago. They are a 4-diamond property. They are our luxury property. And then on the bottom left, you see some of our historic hotels, all the way to the picture on the right, which is some of our newer hotels, which is the newest Residence Inn by Marriott in downtown. Next, please. So that is a little bit about Flagstaff. So again, why would you stay in Flagstaff? Again, you don't have to pack and unpack. You have everything here that you need. You can come back from the Grand Canyon or from the National Monuments or Monument Valley that you're touring during the day, come back and have an amazing dinner at night, maybe go to the theater, maybe see the symphony, maybe go to a festival, and definitely go to Lowell Observatory. So lots of things to do here while you're visiting, and I recommend that you take a look at our website, which is discoverflagstaff.com. It also has trade information in several languages for your assistance. So thank you for your time. I will turn it back over to Gerald.
Great. Thank you, Cherri. So now say, what a trip. What a trip. It was really amazing. So thank you to the three of you for this presentation. So can't wait to come back to the US. So really. So, and now we are going to finish with our 2 guest stars. So just as a reminder, you know that we've got some tour operators, partner of Visit USA Belgium. So they are there to help you, whatever your request can be. And today we've got 2 guest stars. We've got Elke from USA Travel and Lucrèce from Rings and Wheels. And they're going to give you a few words about what's happening actually, and just a few different things for you to keep in mind. So let's maybe start with Elke. Elke, are you there?
I am here, Gerald. Hello, Gerald.
Hello.
Hello, Emily, Cherri, Jalyssa, and everyone in this call. Thank you for being here. It's great to see so many of you here. So I am Elke, General Manager of USA Travel, and also your Vice President of this Visit USA. For the travel agents in this call who are not familiar with us yet, we are a true specialist in tailor-made travel and existing for more than 25 years. Lately, we have created many new fly-in drives and as well a new Arizona fly-in drive, which combines Flagstaff, Scottsdale, and Tucson, and including a ranch holiday at the White Stallion Ranch. So everything that you have seen in this webinar is included or can be added on this itinerary. Two other things I would like to share with you is that next Tuesday we have a webinar going on which you still can subscribe. This is at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and also twice a month we will do a virtual coffee break with you, the travel agents. In this virtual coffee break, you will be able to learn on the new itineraries. We will share some information with you, and we will also give you an update on the destination of USA and Canada. So this is at 10 o'clock in the morning and starting as from February 23rd. So if you still would like to subscribe, don't hesitate to shoot us an email. Our entire team is ready for you. Thank you, Gerald.
Great. Thank you, Elke. Coffee in the morning. That's great. That's a great new meeting. So
you're welcome, Gerald.
Yeah, so maybe next time, maybe doing a meeting in the evening to have a wine session or a beer session, something like that. That'd be great.
Give you some ideas.
Great. So next, Lucrèce.
Hello. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Now I put on the screen. I don't know. Do you see me?
And we can see you. Yeah.
Okay. Now, hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. And we also have some sunshine this afternoon in Belgium. So similar to what we saw in Arizona. Now, after having followed this interesting webinar, I'd just like to share a couple of thoughts with you all. Wings on Wheels keeps on track for the coming months and years, and I like to be honest with you, we do focus already more on 2022 than on 21. For the existing bookings active for 21, we will be as flexible as possible if changes or rebookings should be necessary. And for the hotels, car rentals and special services, we know that that won't be a problem. But airlines, they give us a hard time. Since a couple of weeks, we are working closely with airline groups to get more flexibility into 2022. As we all understand from the customers that a large number of them don't want to travel long haul this year, but are very enthusiastic to travel in 2022. So our aim is to get new rules from the airlines to changes, so that changes and rebookings will be allowed for 2022. We have some airlines that already have that option, and we hope to get more airlines to follow. Of course, we still hope that for the September-December period, we will be able to book the traditional New York packages with combinations to Washington and the Florida destinations, leaving us now a couple of more months to get the infections down and the vaccinations up and to receive updated info on travel conditions and possibilities. Product-wise for 2002, we already have a few new products and itineraries, and we intend to publish those on the website. The new format brochures that we introduced in 2019, so those brochures are available to give you ideas to refer to products on the websites. And if you like to receive a number of those to get through the coming months, please send us an email or order those on the cerqua.be website. Don't forget to inform your customers that those who are interested in motorhome rentals, that we can already book the 2022 season. We also received an early release of the dates and the prices for our Canadian escorted tours in English and Dutch. So for early birders, those who can decide early will get the best rates and can secure their holidays right now for 2022. Again, with the flexibility of being able to change and to cancel at no cost if necessary in respect of the terms and the conditions. We remain confident that our beautiful destinations will welcome your customers again in, let's say, hopefully near future, and we will continue to work together with you travel agents to let their dreams come true. So thank you all. Take good care of yourselves and your beloved ones, and have a very nice evening. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Lucrèce. So we arrive at the end of this presentation. As just a reminder, so we still have the travel agent specialist program. So you will receive I will try this this week too to send you the link for the quiz. And I remind you, first part of the quiz will be for the travel agent specialist, and the second part will be for great prices from Arizona, from our partner from Scottsdale, Tucson, and Flagstaff. Now, if you've got some question, don't hesitate. Please use the chat mode to ask to our partner if you've got any question. It's your time. Great, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Anyone have some question for Emily, Jalyssa, or Cherri? Or even for Lucrèce and Elke? Crystal clear. Oh yes, Charlotte, I know. No, everything was everything was perfect. Great. See, so if everything was clear, great. So we will see we will see the result of the quiz if you have all been able to follow and hear clearly. Great. Janine, yes, Janine, do you have any question? So if no special questions, so this is the end of this webinar. So thank you very much. I really appreciate to have you every month. And now let's meet next month for a new webinar also. So if you've got any question, please don't hesitate. We are there to help you. Our friend from Tucson, Scottsdale, and Flagstaff are there too. So I wish you a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend too, and take care and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.